So we're still in the early part of 2025. We're heading into the second week of 2025. And for this month, in January, I would like to talk about some of the stories that I covered in 2024. So in today's video, I'd like to talk about Guyana. Guyana in 2024 and 2023, Guyana became the fastest developing nation in the world because of its newfound liquid gold. And so that is what I would like to cover today. Guyana. Will Guyana be the first developed country in the Caribbean? And I know people saying, Guyana is in South America. Geographically, yes, it is in South America. But culturally, Guyana, pretty much Caribbean. So that is what I'd like to talk about. Is Guyana going to become the first developed nation in the Caribbean? Let's talk about it. Okay, so every expert that I've seen in the past 2 years, since 2023, when you look at the projection for Guyana, everyone is pretty much saying the same thing, that with the oil in Guyana, over $150 billion worth of oil, Guyana is on track to be the first developed nation within this region, within the Caribbean region, within South America, whatever you'd like to call it. But Guyana is heading into that direction. And so today I want to talk about the president of Guyana, President Ali, because we have seen over decades countries heading into that direction. We have seen Trinidad and Tobago with oil. We have seen Venezuela. We have seen a lot of countries. And one of the things that we normally highlight, the first thing that we highlight, they don't get to that place if they don't live up to expectation. I believe that the first thing that we normally point to is corruption. And yes, there are a lot of corrupt leaders, whether in the Caribbean, whether in South America and Africa, wherever. But there's also corrupt politicians in America, in Canada. Everywhere you turn, you can find corrupt politicians. But so today, I want to focus on President Ali. And one of the things I don't think people look into a lot is that sometimes when small island nations, it could be Caribbean, it could be African nations, it could be South America, a lot of times when there are expectations for these countries to succeed and they fail, a lot of time there's outside influence and people tend to look more on inward corruption as opposed to outside influence. So I just want to drag your memory back a little bit to last year with an interview President Ali did with what seemed to be like a British journalist. And this is going to give you a real example of what outside interference look like and why not every time an island in the Caribbean fail, an African nation fail, not all the time it is corruption. Sometimes it's outside interference. So let's take a look at this interview with President Ali with what appears to be a British interviewer interviewing him. Let's take a look.
It is expected that there will be $150 billion worth of oil and gas extracted off your coast. That means, according to many experts, more than 2 billion tons of carbon emissions will come from your seabed, from those reserves, and be released into the atmosphere. I don't know if you as a head of state went to the COP in Dubai.
Let me stop you right there. Do you know that Guyana has a forest forever that is the size of England and Scotland combined? A forest that stores 19.5 gigatons of carbon, a forest that we have kept alive, a forest that we have kept alive.
Does that give you the right? Does that give you the right to release all of this carbon?
Does that give you the right to lecture us on climate change. I am going to lecture you on climate change because we have kept this forest alive that stores 19.5 gigatons of carbon that you enjoy, that the world enjoy, that you don't pay us for, that you don't value, that you don't see a value in, that the people of Guyana has kept alive. Guess what? We have the lowest deforestation rate in the world. And guess what? Even with our greatest exploration of the oil and gas resource we have now, we will still be net zero. Guyana will still be net zero. With all our exploration,
a couple of
we'll
points.
Still be net zero.
Powerful words, Mr. President. But a couple...
I am not completed as yet. I am not finished as yet. I am just not finished as yet. Because this is the hypocrisy that exists in the world. The world in the last 50 years has lost 65% of all its biodiversity. We have kept our biodiversity. Are you valuing it? Are you ready to pay for it? When is the developed world going to pay for it? Or are you in the pockets? Are you in the pockets of those who have damaged the environment? Are you in the pockets? Are you and your system in the pockets of those who destroyed the environment through the Industrial Revolution and now lecturing us?
Okay, so that was the interview, and trust me, every time I watch that interview, it gets my blood boiling. And that was a journalist from BBC News interviewing President Ali, and the audacity to try. What I really realize is that you have the UK. There's British Petroleum. British Petroleum have become trillionaires out of oil, the wealth, the money that British Petroleum made from oil, getting oil from all over, whether it's Trinidad and Tobago, whether it's wherever in the world you can think of, British Petroleum have become like this big $1 trillion company. You have Exxon, which is a company that I believe is responsible for getting the oil in Guyana. And when you look at America, you look at the United Kingdom, for decades, they got rich out of oil money. No one questioned how they made their money. No one, they have done a lot of questionable stuff. In particular, in the United States of America, when you go back and you hear them talk about fracking and the whole process of fracking, which is described as almost like shocking the earth, like almost like a mini earthquake, which is a very questionable practice to most of the experts. Very questionable. So the audacity now for when an island nation, when they find oil and they are about to get rich of their own resources, their own natural resources, this reporter to come out like he's trying to bully the president, talking about climate change. We have been hearing about climate change, global warming for decades. From Al Gore started talking about climate change, this whole global warming for the past 30 years. We have been hearing about this thing. Did America stop drilling? No. Donald Trump said, drill, baby, drill. Did the United Kingdom, did British Petroleum stop drilling? No, they did not. The billionaires, did the billionaires park their private jets? No. They have more jets. What about their private yacht? No. More yacht. Like the cruise ships are bigger, massive cruise ships that are the size of 2 hotels in one. But yet, whenever it's time for so-called third world countries, island nation, African countries to get rich from their own natural resources, then now there's this blockage. Oh no, like you're going to destroy the earth, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. America is not destroying the earth. When Canada wanted to run the Keystone pipeline, that wasn't going to damage the earth. When the oil spill when Obama just came in office, I think it was 2008, that wasn't damaging the earth. So the audacity. So the reason why I'm doing this is because, as I said, I want to turn Caribbean, in particular Caribbean people, I want to turn your attention because, as I said, the first thing we think about is corrupt politicians. And sometimes I think we're a bit hard on ourselves and we think like, in particular, predominantly black nations, like whether it's in the Caribbean, whether it's in Africa, or whether it's black or brown people, whether, Latin America, we think corruption first. As if places like Canada, America, there's no corruption. As if we don't see in America, billions of dollars that's been spent on election, they're not just spending $50 million giving politicians because they like them. They're getting some kickback. So what I'm saying is that we need to, President Ali, I believe that for all of us within the region, because I believe that whatever success happens in Guyana, it's going to impact Trinidad and Tobago, it's going to impact Jamaica, it's going to impact Barbados, it's going to impact the entire Caribbean. So I believe that we should, keep this man in our prayer, President Ali, because just imagine being attacked by a journalist, that is a journalist, attacking him about climate change. Just imagine what is going on in some of those situation rooms or boardrooms in some of these countries with these politicians that want to get their hands on what is in Guyana. Some of those people that would not want to see Guyana successful. And we have seen it. We have seen Venezuela with riches in oil, and Venezuela now is almost at a breaking point. It's like almost like a country that's in turmoil with so much natural resources. So guys, sound off in the comment section. Join the conversation. Let me know what you think about this. Do you think that there are outside forces that are going to try and stop Guyana from becoming the first developed country within the Caribbean region, within Latin America region? Do you think that there are people out there that do not want to see the success of Guyana? Sound off and let me know what you think. And tell me, what do you think about this BBC reporter? What do you think about him? And how do you think that President Ali stood up to him and didn't just sit there and take it, like he fight back? Tell me how you feel about the interview. How did President Ali carry himself in that interview? Sound off and let me know. And guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content. And remember, peace. I'm out.